So as I said, we're going to start with sitting. Making yourself comfortable in whatever way you can sit. There's So in the usual way, you might, move the body a little bit, give yourself a bit of a stretch if that's helpful. Whatever. Good. So the invitation is to find a comfortable seated position, which can be, of your choice. You might choose to sit on a chair. You might choose to sit on a cushion or your meditation stool. If you need more support, you can also sit, with your back to a wall. So it's whatever helps you to be able to sit comfortable and with the back upright. That there is a sense of ease in your body. So you're all very welcome for our practice here together this morning. So important that we can still connect in this way and come together for our practice. And of course it means different things for every one of us. We all have different needs. And of course those needs change as well. So as we start to sit here, becoming still, with the eyes closed, you might visualize yourself as part of this group here this morning. And I'm going to ring the bell now 3 times to begin our practice together. Checking in a way of experiencing how you are right now here this morning. We can do it on a physical level, experiencing our body. See how the body feels. Perhaps reminding ourselves of maybe what the body needs. If there are certain areas of the body, certain maybe arms or legs or feet that you may need to particularly take care of. Always feeling free to adjust the practice to what feels right for you. And that's even more important now that we're doing it online, where I can't really be there to adjust. So it brings a bit more responsibility on our own our parts to look after ourselves as best as we can. Checking in what's here in your mind. And we can, to a certain degree, perhaps make decisions on, what we want to kind of entertain in our minds and what not. Of course, that's not that easy, but we do have choices, and with more practice, we have more choices to, to remind ourselves to come back to our practice here. But whatever needs to be thought about and dealt with, maybe we can leave that for this for this time of our practice and pick it up again at the end. Checking in what's in our hearts here, how we are feeling on the heart level. And here too, we want to take care of our heart, of our feelings too. Maybe here we can do that throughout the practice by cultivating, a friendly attitude, even to our whatever feelings we are having. Maybe we can adapt a friendly voice that, that usually quite critical voice we all have that tells us this is right, that's wrong, this should be this way and not that way. So maybe we can give it a much friendlier voice. Or if it's there quite harsh, maybe we can just say, okay, just not for this moment. So that for the practice here, we can be open, in a way free from preconceptions. Attentive to what's happening moment by moment. Now bringing the awareness to your breath. We're going to start with abdominal breathing and then full yogic breath. So for this, if you wish, you can, if it's helpful, placing the hands on your navel area, both hands, or one hand there and the other one already on the chest, or maybe for full yogic breathing. And then in your own time, allowing the breath to deepen, so flowing in through the nostrils and allowing the breath to move all the way down to the navel area, feeling a little bit of a rising sensation there, a gentle rising sensation. And then a long breath out, equally slow, out through the nose again if possible. And maybe the abdomen area can soften. Actually, if you're more familiar with the breath, sometimes it be quite interesting, instead of having the hands too close to the navel, sliding them a little bit apart so that you might get a sense with your thumb, the outside of your thumb on your lower rib cage, because actually, even though we call it abdominal breathing, it actually is just a deeper breath into the lower parts of our lungs. So we might feel the lower rib cage expanding. It takes a little bit more, it's a bit more subtle. But if you have, already quite some experience of breathing, that, might be quite helpful actually to have the hands there and with each breath in, feeling the lower rib cage, particularly the lower rib cage, moving out to the sides. And with the exhalation, that kind of coming in of the rib. And you can either continue with this abdominal breath, maybe emphasizing on the lower rib cage, or then also expanding it into the full yogic breath, which means that from the rib cage, then moving up into the middle chest. So you also feel more expansion around the heart, around the middle part of our rib cage, maybe even right to the back, maybe right up to the collarbones, perhaps even. Filling the lungs completely, little pause after your inhalation, and this lovely long, slow breath out. Each breath we're taking in prana, energy that fills the lungs, but not just the lungs, it goes beyond. You can imagine it actually goes everywhere in your body. And with each breath out, the possibility of a release, of a letting go. I mean, physically it's a detox, breathing out carbon dioxide. So in a way, each breath like this is a deep cleansing practice, filling the body, the lungs, and every cell with new energy. And with each breath out, a releasing of toxins, of tension in the body. Releasing of thoughts that don't really are beneficial right now here. So let yourself be really breathing in that way, maybe feeling the expansion all over in the whole of your energy body here. So next time you exhale, one last round. And then letting the hands come into prayer pose, front of the heart. You continue with long, slow breath in, lifting up the arms at the same time, stretching the arms up above the head, slightly out to the side, so really opening up. And then with the breath out, bringing the hands back together and sliding back into prayer pose. And we'll just do 2 more rounds like that. Breathing in, stretching, opening, holding the breath for a brief moment. And then exhale, hands back together. One round, one last round. So releasing the hands then onto your thighs again, on knees. Letting the head gently tilt forwards with the chin coming closer towards your chest, and with the head forward and down, just moving the head from side to side. So keep your shoulders back, keep your shoulders relaxed. So it is actually stretching out the neck muscles a bit. And then we can also turn from that position the head a little bit right and left. And then bringing the head back to the center. Rolling the shoulders. Keeping our neck at ease now that we have woken up to the neck a little bit more. So maybe we can feel it once the tension arises. So rolling shoulders, lovely. Back. Okay, and then more like one shoulder at a time, rolling back. Good, okay. So coming out from your seated position, coming onto all fours, catch the position. Support your knees if necessary, if you're finding it's too hard. Also making sure that you have space behind you so you can stretch a leg behind and we can stretch arms in front if you have that space. Sometimes it's a bit compromised, obviously, if you're practicing at home. So with the fingers nicely spread out and the knees underneath your hips, head again forward and down. We're going to start by literally circling our trunk over those 4 points. So what we're going to do is you bring your weight forward a little bit more towards the right hand and then back down towards the right knee and then over towards your left knee and then forward towards your left hand. So circling in that way. And you can go back a little bit as far as you want, maybe with the buttocks more back. Not going too far forward, so we not putting any strain on the back as such. And keep your head nicely relaxed. So a lovely bit of stretching in the arms as well. And then change direction, go the other way. Of course, it's weight bearing on our hip, on our wrists. When we bring that weight forward. One more round. And then coming back to the center. So this time we want to kind of keep centered and literally just move the trunk, so that hula hoop. So it's quite different. We're not moving forward and back. We're steadying ourselves over hands and knees and moving just our trunk. So we go into that hula hoop practice where you're moving the rib cage out to the side and up and then over to the other side and down. And you can include as much of the lower back as well. So let's really get the entire trunk. And then change direction. So a good way to feel into the back, already kind of engaging with our core muscles here, bit of energy producing in solar plexus. Good. And then coming back to the middle and sliding the buttocks slightly back so we take a bit of weight off our wrists. Go back as much as you're comfortable with. You know, if the buttocks go all the way back, fine. But if that's not right for you, then you stop where you have to stop. The head still hanging down. So maybe we can just encourage our head and neck to be at ease here. Arms stretching forward. And then coming back onto all fours. So centering ourselves again for the catch. Dipping down in the lower back with our breath in, dipping between the shoulder blades, lifting chest forward, shoulders pull away from the ears, lifting head. And then starting from the head, rolling down, press through your arms, curling up your spine, tucking the abdomen in and curling the the tailbone down. And then relax the belly again. Inhale, dipping down between the shoulder blades also. Actively extending your spine. So in that position, you do definitely want to have a long spine. Rolling the head down, curling up. Exhale. Lovely deep breath now. And you might continue for 3 more rounds. And each time you breathe out, maybe a ha breath, a cleansing breath. But a slow breath. So really squeeze out the breath. Soften the belly for your next breath in. Let the breath wash in into your vacuum you created with the breath out. So one final round. And then again, come back towards the heels, extended child pose. Arms still forward. And you might just lift your fingers and make a gentle kind of, spreading them out and make a gentle fist. Good. And then we come up and you can lift up your right arm and give your right arm a good shake. Wrist, left arm, shaking out. Right leg, shaking out. Left leg, shaking out. Left arm and right leg together. Right arm and left leg together. And then with hands and knees down, shaking out as much of your trunk as we can. Nice wiggle out. Good. So on all fours, nice centering. Bit more strengthening now. We're going to lift the right arm and the left leg up together. So stretching into right arm, stretch back into your left leg. And then with an exhalation, bring your right elbow and left knee together underneath your trunk. And the head also curling downwards. And then inhale without touching the ground if possible, stretching arm and leg out again. Exhale, right elbow, left knee together, head coming in as well. And again, inhale, stretching out. Exhale, coming together. And then place your hand on the ground, the knee on the ground, and we change over. Left arm and right leg, inhale, lifting. Exhale, elbow, knee coming together. Inhale, stretching out. Really feel extending as you lift. Exhale, curling up, coming together. Stretching out. And together. Bringing the hand and knee down. Right arm and left leg lifting up again. And this time bend your left knee. bend your left knee, and then bring knee and elbow back together again. Exhale. So keep your left knee bent, lifting it up and lifting the arm even higher up. Knee and elbow together. Exhale. And one more. So really nice knee lift here behind and together. And changing over next time. Left arm, right leg. So bend your left knee. And then left elbow, right knee together. Keep your knee bent as you lift behind you. And together. And one more. And together. And coming down. And child pose. And this time, relax the arms. Maybe relax your head onto your hands or forearms, or if the head is fully down, bring your arms alongside your body. Nice stretching out of the back, breathing into the back. Good. And then stretching the arms forward again. So we're going to keep the right hand and the right knee in alignment. So if you think of a line, they're on the same line. And then you stretch your left leg out behind. You don't need to lift it. And you slide your left foot also in alignment with your right side. So we have now 3 points: right hand, right knee, and left toe on the ground in one line. And the trunk turns to the left. And when you're ready, lifting up your left arm up towards the ceiling. So we are turning to the left here. And you can keep your left foot on the ground, holding here, stretching. Good. And then we bring the left arm down. Left knee back in alignment with your left hand, straightening out the right leg. Bring it in alignment with your left hand and knee, and then turn the trunk to your right, lifting the arm up. Now stretch into the left arm as well as into the right arm. So we want to have a lovely open chest here. And then we change over again, bring the right hand down, right knee back on the ground, stretching the left leg out, turning, lifting the left arm up while the right arm stretches down. Now, if you're balanced, see what you can do. Can you lift your left foot up a little bit? So we're only on hand and knee now. So a bit of balance, breathing, and changing over, coming down, left hand, left knee. First, keep your right foot on the ground. So steady yourself first with the arm up, the right arm up. And then when you're ready, perhaps lift your right leg up a little bit. And we want to stretch into both arms up and down. And then coming back. Good. So maybe just sit there back for a moment, shaking out your hands. So for the next practice, I show you from the front. So you're going to be first in the cat pose, but then actually what we want to do is we want to stretch. So the right knee stays on the ground, and you stretch your your left leg out to the side. So it would actually look something like that. I'm gonna move again. There's some. Okay. So we're on our right knee. The left leg is out to the side. The trunk is nice and straight. Now, I probably should have said some of you may need a cushion or something on your right side. Not everybody needs it. If you can actually get with the hand down, then you don't need it. But some of you may may find it helpful to have something here. Good. So first, nice and tall. So sliding down with your right hand, either onto your cushion or block, or maybe the fingertips touch the ground here. And then let your left arm lift up and stretch over your head. So the palm is facing down, your left palm is facing down. The arm ideally is straight. So don't go too far. Once you have to bend your elbow, then you have gone too far. So we want to definitely keep the arm straight. Stretching to the outside of our left foot. Good. Now we need a bit of core muscles to lift ourselves up, straightening the trunk up. Releasing the left hand on the thigh, on the left thigh. Now lift up your right arm over your head. Right arm over your head. Nice and stretching up. And we're going to slide to the left side. Now we're not going to go very far. It's not possible to go very far. The ribs will be in the way. There will be a lot of things in the way, I think. So just a little bit of a stretch. So we're stretching now the whole right side. You could let your head tilt to the left. So we're getting that part of the upper spine. Good, lifting up, inhale, straightening. And we do it once more. Bring your right arm down. Right hand touching. And left arm lifting and stretching over your head. And at the same time, stretching down the outside of your left foot. Breathing, lovely open chest. Now, again, we need a lot of core muscles here, lifting ourselves up with a long spine, straightening up. Letting the left hand come down, right arm extends upwards. So length is more important than going sideways. So always emphasize lengthening more than actually going very far to the side. And maybe tilt your head this time to the left as well. Good, and then we're straightening up. So before we come out, you might just want to do a little movement with your left leg and shake it out. Good, and then we change over. So kneeling on the left, right leg is stretching out. Now you might have your block or cushion on your left side now if you need to. So maybe just check that both legs are more in alignment. You know, the right leg isn't behind, because if you have it, kind of it gets a little bit more too much of arching in the lower back. Good. So first, long spine, and we're going to slide down the left side. So the left hand comes onto the ground or your support, and then lift up your right arm and sweep it over your head with the palm facing down, arm nice and straight, stretching down the outside of your right foot. Can we breathe? Now, if you have tilted forward a little bit in your trunk, bring the right shoulder back. Yeah, nice, good. And now core muscles, lifting ourselves up, inhale. Lowering the right arm down, lifting up your left arm. So long first, really stretching out, and then sliding to the left. So we feel our rib cage and hip bone on the right side coming closer together. So the right side is really short, the left side is really long, the head can tilt to the right. And inhale, straightening up. And we do one more round, let the left arm go down all the way to the ground. So can we keep our alignment of our shoulders? Right arm sweeping up, stretching over the head. Chest nice and open here, stretching on the outside of our right foot. Holding, breathing. And core muscles lifting, straightening up. Great. Right arm down, left arm lifts up, nice and tall, really tall. And we slide towards our right side, so shortening the right side, extending our left side, head can tilt to the right weight, and then coming back. So before we go back onto all fours, just give your right leg a bit of a movement, maybe a bit of a shake. Coming back onto all fours. Tucking your toes well under and spread your toes. Spread your fingers well, so big hand, and then we move up into mountain pose. So pushing up and back, head relaxing, knees soft, stretching out our back. Walking mountain, so one knee bending, the other one straightening. Walking over your toes, the balls of your feet, head hanging down. Good. So one more breath here in mountain. Lovely, long, deep inhalation and exhalation. And then walk your feet forward as the hands walk back. So we're coming into our forward bend. With the head relaxing, the belly can rest on your thighs for the moment. You might even interlock your elbows with your hands really hanging down. At this stage, if you feel like you need to breathe out through your mouth, like a breath, do so. Good. And then we roll ourselves up. So soft knees. If you need more support, bring your hands on the thighs. And then just literally vertebrae by vertebrae. Rolling yourself up. Coming into Tadasana, standing pose. Feet connecting with the ground. Lengthening the spine. Even when we're up already, maybe that sense of still lifting and extending up towards the sky. Shoulders dropping, creating space for our neck here. And you can bring the feet a little bit closer together if they're quite a distance apart. Interlock your fingers in front of your body with your palms facing down. And with the inhalation, lifting up the arms above your head, push up on the tips of your toes, holding. And while you're up here, you can breathe freely and just let the upper body move a little bit from side to side. So we're on the tips of the toes, we're nice and up and moving the trunk slightly side to side. Good, one more. And then coming back onto the heels, releasing and releasing the arms out to the side, coming back down. Step a little bit apart with your feet, softening the knees and letting the trunk nicely rotate side to side. And the arms, if you have the space, let them move freely. And keep your shoulders at ease. Can we do this rotation without actually needing to at all engage with the shoulder muscles or neck muscles? Good, another moment. I don't think you can ever do too many of those. Great warming up practice too. Good, and coming back. Just holding. Good, so just checking in how everything is. And then you can come to the front of your mat. in Tadasana, feet hip width apart, toes nicely spread out. Nice length to the spine here. Bringing the hands into prayer pose in front. So that connection here also with our heart. And then stretching the arms up. At the same time, the feet push down, arms extending above the head, perhaps looking up or looking forward. Soft knees, stretching, lengthening the spine, forward and down, really extending your spine, and then slide the fingers beside your toes. Stepping back with your right leg, stepping back with your left leg, both legs back, holding here for a moment, head relaxing, mountain pose. Knees come onto the ground, so either cat pose, or anyone wants to come down first and up into cobra for the inhalation. You do that, and then back up into mountain. And we actually repeat that 2 more times, so cat mountain or cobra mountain. So inhale, sliding forward and up, or do cat. Exhale into mountain, pushing back, long breath out. So one more, coming down, sliding through the arms if you do cobra, and back up into mountain. Again, holding here for a moment, having energized a little bit, having got the breath going. And then knees come down, so the left foot can step forward, and then your right foot can come forward for the forward bend. Inhale, lifting and straightening up. Hands together, prayer pose. Inhale, stretching and extending upwards. Exhale, bending forward and down, extending the spine, relax your head. Left leg steps back, right leg steps back, mountain. So white fingers, white toes, and 3 times cat mountain or cobra mountain. With the breath sliding through with the inhalation, exhale up into mountain. Mind your neck here. Yeah, so really, we can quite overdo it on the neck, especially because we're walking with your arms quite strongly. So 3 all together. And then holding again in the mountain with the exhalation, making sure the head now can nicely relax here. And then bring your knees briefly down, right foot steps forward, left foot steps forward, exhale. Soft knees, inhale, stretching up, extending upwards. Hands together, prayer pose. Just holding it for a moment with the hands in prayer pose, eyes closed, recentering ourselves, checking in. Good. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale down. Right leg back, left leg back. Exhaling in mountain. Just 1 cat or cobra, breathing in. And exhale, mountain. Knees on the ground, left foot steps forward. Right foot steps forward, so exhale here first. Inhale, straightening up. Hands together, exhale. And inhale, stretching. Exhale, forward and down. Left leg back, right leg back. So hold here for a moment, breathing out. Cat or cobra, breathing in. Mountain, exhale. Knees briefly down, right foot forward, left foot forward, exhale. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, hands into prayer pose. Now relax the arms here for a moment. Again, just feeling breath surging through the body, prana moving through the body. So step a little bit further apart with your feet. So they already have more distance between them. And from that distance, then step back with your left foot. So we want to maintain a good distance between not just lengthwise, also widthwise between the legs. Yeah. So if you think of the front here, if I show you from the front, there should be a bit of a gap. It's, not looking like this. There should be a bit of a gap. Good. Now, it's not necessary to step very far back, so you can check out, can you bend your right knee well with the left foot staying firmly on the left foot firmly connecting with the ground. Yeah, and that right knee, when it goes forward, maximum comes maybe to the ankle joint, not any further. So that's protecting our leg. Good. So once you have that, the position, so we're going to square our hips so that they, move. So basically what we do is we move our right hip slightly back and the left hip forward. So that should feel like that the pubic bone is more centered to the front. It's not going over to the left side. The pubic bone more to the front. Good. So arms relaxed alongside the body. Nice tall spine. So inhale, let's lift up the arms above the head with the palms facing each other. And with an exhalation, bending our right knee, so we're going into warrior here, and at the same time stretching into our left leg behind. So both feet are firmly grounded. Now with an exhalation, next exhalation, bring your arms just forward, about shoulder height here, shoulder height. And with an inhalation, spread the arms out to the side, really opening up, stretching into our fingertips. And then with your next exhalation, you can relax your arms forward and actually straighten your right knee and bend forward. See if you can straighten the right. Now you don't have to go absolutely straight, just a little bit straighter. Coming forward and down, letting the head rest or coming closer towards your right knee. One hand is on each side of your right foot for the moment. And then bend your right knee. In the best way you can, straighten your trunk up again. Bring the arms wide out to the side. So we're back with our warrior. And then bringing the arms forward and up again above the head. Stretching up, and then we take a little break. So relax your right foot, bring the arms down, and we step forward with our left foot and go back with our right foot. Good. So checking out, the same here. Can the knee bend well? Can the right leg connect with the ground? Squaring the hips, so by pulling the left hip slightly back, the right hip forward. Arms relax alongside the body. So inhale, we lift up the arms. Exhale, bend your left knee. Now keep the trunk vertical. Now sometimes there's a bit of a, an urge to go forward with the trunk. So we want to really keep it centered. Both legs, both feet firmly centered. With your next exhalation, bring the arms shoulder height. Inhale, stretch them out to the side, really wide. far back even. And then with an exhalation, next exhalation, bend forward. So you can straighten your left knee a little bit. Now, if you can't reach the ground, maybe a cushion or a block again might help to get your hands somewhere firm. Head relaxing. So what happens here usually is that our hips have gone out of alignment again. So can we pull our left hip back again and the right slightly forward, so keeping our hips squared. And then bend your left knee. And the best way you can, straighten up your trunk, center again, and bring the arms out to the side. Lifting the arms up. And with an exhalation, we're straightening the knee, bringing the arms down, stepping forward with our right foot. And just take a moment here to stand. So stepping back, left foot again, right leg stays forward, squaring our hips, pubic bone centering to the front, arms relaxed alongside the body. Inhale, lifting up both arms, forward and up. Exhale, bend your right knee. So keeping your trunk nicely centered. Exhale, bring the arms shoulder height to the front. Inhale, spread the arms out to the side. And we're going to stay here for an extra breath. So breathing in the pose. Nice opening, that really lovely to the heart. Actually, it's very warming, this practice. And then with the next exhalation, again, we're going to bend forward and down, straightening as much as you can your right knee while bending forward and down. So what we want to do this time is, if you can, and that's a balance pose, see if you can hold on anywhere with both hands on your right leg, right foot, right ankle joint. So we're actually not having the hands on the ground. Now that's a balance pose, so keep your eyes open. Now if you need your fingers still supporting you on the ground, do so. Head hanging forward and down. So can we still square our hips? Right hip pulling back, left hip forward. Quite a bit of wobble going on in the right leg perhaps. Breathing. Now bring the fingers onto the ground first, stabilize yourself. Bend your right knee, straightening the trunk up. So the right knee is bent, we back into our pose here with the arms out to the side. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, straightening the knee and relax your arm and step forward with the left foot. Taking a moment. Right leg stepping back. Squaring our hips. Arms relax. Inhale, lifting both arms up above the head. Exhale, bending your left knee, stretching actively into the right leg in the back. Exhale, bring the arms down to the front. Inhale, spreading the arms out to the side. So keep your left knee well bent. And we breathe here, take an extra breath or two in this pose. Of course, strong with the legs here. Lovely heart opening. Next time you exhale, relax your arms, bend forward, straightening your left leg a little bit, and see if you can hold on somewhere onto your left leg with both hands, maybe the foot, maybe the ankle joint, head relaxing. Now, I would probably recommend to keep the eyes open because it is a balance, unless you're very steady, and you might explore the eyes closed option, but you know, it's not, don't fall over here.
Good, holding, maybe squaring our hips again, left hip back, right hip forward, breathing. Then bring both hands on the ground first, so stabilizing yourself, steadying. Bend your left knee, straightening the trunk up, so we're back in warrior. The arms out to the side, nice and open. Inhale, lifting the arms up above the head. Exhale, lower the arms, straighten your knees, step forward with your right foot, closing the eyes, Tadasana. Nice and tall. Bringing the hands into prayer pose. Inhale, stretching arms up above the head, pushing down to your feet, that extension from both opposite polar ends, the top and the bottom. And then exhale, stretching forward and down again. Stepping back with your right foot and then left foot for our mountain pose. Breathing here, let's take 2 more breaths. Soften the knees, stretch back from your arms, making sure the head is relaxed. And coming down with both knees and stretching yourself out so that you now lie on the front of your body. With your forehead on the ground. If that's not comfortable, maybe turn the head for the moment to one side. Let your arms stretch down alongside your body. Palms facing upwards. So even when we're lying here on our front, can we get a sense of a long spine? Can we stretch maybe from the very back of the head upwards and through our tailbone and the heels downwards. So maintaining this really long spine here, shoulders pulling away from the ears, arms stretching towards your feet, and then lifting the arms slightly off the ground. Pressing the legs down for the moment and begin to lift the trunk forward and up. Now maintain, maybe looking down towards the ground. So the head, we want to keep that length through our neck. No need to stress that area. But lifting up, Shalabhasana, the locust pose, lifting up as much of your trunk as you can. Breathing strongly into our navel area, or the lower rib cage. Lovely deep breaths here. Engaging the whole of your back. And then slowly releasing, coming down, and let your right cheek turn, or right cheek be on the ground. And really releasing everywhere. Shoulders rolling down. Buttocks softening, maybe the heels flipping and flopping away from each other. As if the whole back now is just widening and spreading out here. Muscles softening, releasing. Again, turning the forehead onto the ground. Letting the heels point up. Let your arms, shoulders move away from the ears, stretching into your arms, lifting the arms. So this time we do the same practice, except we can add our legs to it as well. So if it's okay, lifting the trunk and lifting the legs up a bit. So keep your knees straight, no bending of the knees. Only do what's right. If it's too much with the legs, then concentrate on the upper part of your body. So holding here. So eventually we want to lift as much of the body away from the ground. Now maintain your long neck. Remember not to stress. Ideally, we can move the head quite freely in this pose. Maybe we can smile a bit so we can relax a bit more. Breathing in the pose. Breathing strong. Can we feel the strength of the entire back side of our body here? Nothing is being left out. 2 more breaths. Breathing into your belly. And then softening, slowly coming down, turning the left cheek onto the ground. Again, let everything spread out in the back, the shoulders dropping, shoulder blades moving away from each other. Buttocks softening, maybe the heels rolling away again from each other. So that sense of a wide back, maybe much wider than it was before, maybe the muscles easier to relax now. And that sometimes happens when we actually engage a muscle and then relax it. It's much easier for that muscle to relax than it would have been without, tightening it up first. Sliding your finger or hands underneath your shoulders and gently push yourself up. And we come into the child pose, but this time let the knees go a little bit wider apart. So you can go back with your buttocks as much as you can, but the knees a little bit wider apart. And resting the forehead on the ground, maybe the hands, you can interlock your elbows in front or in, your head here. Whatever's comfortable. But it's a bit of a hip opening as well. So the knees are nicely apart. The back can relax here a bit. Breathing into pose. The belly is nice and soft in this position. And then from this position, coming back and placing the hands so that you can help to push yourself up. And you can sit in such a way that the legs can stretch out in front of you. And maybe we just take a moment, hands resting behind the back or supporting your back here. Legs comfortably stretched out. And with the arms back, we can emphasize that opening of the chest by maybe rotating the arms in such a way that the inner elbows face forward. So that will actually result in bringing our shoulder blades closer together and the collarbones moving further away from each other, which is helping that extending and opening of the chest. Mind your neck here. Good. And then just releasing. You might want to shake out your hands. So I show you from the front. You don't have to maybe change your position on your mat, but I'm just showing you from the front that so what we want to do is you bend your knees. You bend your knees and you have your feet a really good distance apart. So they're not together or anything. They're really a good distance apart and the arms are just still comfortably behind your body, okay? So we have the feet that distance apart, the arms behind. And what we're gonna do here is moving our hip joints. So we will be rolling our knees literally from side to side. So that gives a good rotation in our hips. Now, while we're doing this,
When your knees go to the right side, you can keep moving your left hip a little bit more up, and you can turn your trunk a little bit to your left side. So there's an upper body turn as well. And then going back, and we do the opposite, so the knees go to the left. Keep lifting the right hip up a little bit and turning the trunk to your right. Good. So continue like this. If your arms need a break in between, do so. So, you know, there is a bit of course, weight bearing here on the arms and shoulders. So nice internal rotation of our hip here. So maybe 2 more rounds. Okay. And then releasing, maybe shaking out your hands a bit. Okay, shoulders in this. So we can actually do quite a nice twist here from this position. So again, see if you can see it. So what we're going to do is you want to have your legs in such a way that they are, you know, let's say my right leg is my bottom leg. Yeah, my right leg is my bottom leg, and it's wide angle. My left leg is a wide angle. So they're kind of, I hope you can see it here on the screen. Yeah, so they're in this kind of position. And I'm bringing my hands to the right side. So from the side, it will look something like this. Yeah, I'm bringing my hands and the legs are in this kind of, so can we have both hands on the right side? Even the left hand is on the right side. Good. So lengthening up your spine. It's not a, you know, it's a good twist, but maybe not quite as twist. Actually, what this twist does, it actually twists in our lower back, which we don't normally get often. The lying down twists mainly twist on the upper body. So here we get this twist where we kind of feel it's actually our belly's moving over and it's coming more from the lower back. And lengthening your spine. And you don't have to go very far. The position itself is already a twist. You might see if you can release your left knee downwards. Good. You might turn the head a little bit to your right side if you wish. One more breath. Good. And releasing. So let's change over. Left leg is the bottom leg. Right leg is in a wide angle. Left leg in that wide angle. And then turning the trunk, so bringing the right hand also on the outside of our left thigh. The left hand just underneath your left shoulder, not too far back. So we don't want to lean backwards. We want to still maintain a lovely long spine. And you can intensify the twist by maybe bringing your right knee further down and by lengthening the spine a bit more up. And of course, we can turn a little bit more to the left side. Yeah, I would see if you're not leaning forward too much. I think Jackie, yeah, that's better, Jackie, now. Yeah, you're doing well. You're doing well. You're leaning forward a little bit. Good. So holding here, breathing. Good. Okay, just a variation. Bring spice to life. Our variations. Good. So let's, you can already make everything you need, put on your layers, because we're gonna lie down. We do maybe a little bit more, just easing the back, but literally not a lot of other things, so that you can be ready for your lying down. So lying, I don't use the blankets yet. Have them handy, but not maybe covering yourself with it. So once ready, coming onto Shavasana, lying on the back. With the knees bent, so give your back a good chance to actually release on the ground. And then let the knees gently come up towards your chest. Support your knees with your hands. And actually, you can rock gently sideways, of course, we can always do that. And then we can also rock gently forward and back. And the next time you draw the knees in towards your chest, you can also lift up your head and shoulders, so really kind of curling up the entire spine, and maybe reach for the feet if they can be reached. Good. And then from here, let the shoulders and head come down. Stretch your arms out above your head. Stretch the legs up towards the ceiling. So really good stretch here with the toes pointing down. And then again, exhale, bring your head and knees together, the hands curling around or supporting the knees. So the knees are bent, Jackie, bent, hands around the knees. Good. And one more, stretching the whole body, arms and legs. It's a nice energetic stretch too here, this one, really good. And one more time, curling up, coming together. Good. And then just letting yourself relax, let the feet, head and shoulders come down, let the feet come down. And let the feet, if you want to, you let the feet stretch, slide away, or you can, of course, keep your knees bent, finding a really good position. So this might be the time to cover yourself with something you like. Or perhaps place a cushion underneath the knees for support. So Shavasana, our relaxation pose here, and really an opportunity to release everywhere in the body, but also it's always also very, almost essential that after a practice where we've been moving everywhere in the body, that there is a bit of time now where everything can just kind of settle back in. It kind of click back into place, that maybe the energy that's been released, it can kind of, settle in the body, it can flow, find a free-flowing space there. So it is important. And also to that integrating of a sense of wholeness again. A lot of the times through practices there would have been emphasis on either one area of the body or the other, so we would have been drawn to, bring our awareness to different places. We're here now in Shavasana, when we're resting, is bringing it all together. Getting a real sense again of wholeness, of the entirety of your body. So imagine you're lying somewhere really nice and warm, perhaps, or very inspiring. It might be, we can go, in our minds, we can go anywhere. We can go back in time, maybe to a lovely sunny day on the beach or in your garden or somewhere on a grass meadow. Or we can just have a lovely fire in the home and relying on a lovely soft rug, warmth coming from everywhere. And here we are, we can release the entire weight of our body. Feeling the weight of the legs, releasing to the earth, giving it freely, surrendering. The weight of your pelvis, of the buttocks, of the internal organs within the pelvis, releasing to the earth. The weight of your entire back, releasing the entire back and spine to the earth. Releasing the weight of your shoulders and arms right to your fingers to the earth. Releasing the entire weight of your head, including the face and the brain inside, to the earth. You might even have a sigh, but letting go, I'm here now. I can allow myself to be fully and completely supported. And if I can feel it on a physical level, that support, that deep support, can also allow me to support me on a mental level, on an emotional level. Allowing me to get a sense of ease. And even if it's sometimes just one breath at a time. But it's possible. And the support is not depending on anything external. This is right here within myself, within the power of myself. And feeling wholly integrated, every part of yourself. Every part of your body, including your organs, our heart, our mind. And maybe another dimension that goes way beyond all those very tangible experiences. So resting here, allowing ourselves to be completely supported, at ease. Allowing the breath to simply come and go. Another support we have, we know there's another breath. As long as I'm breathing, I'm mostly okay. It doesn't mean there's challenges, but they're all manageable. And sometimes you might just have to take it breath by breath, literally. Resting here, awareness of the whole entirety of your being, all held together. And you might imagine that holding, like a mother holds a child with tender care and love, with acceptance. Unconditional. Can we hold ourselves like this? Breath flowing in, breath flowing out. So slowly deepening, expanding the breath. Feeling the body here in your space where you are. And then in your own time, perhaps moving the body, turning over. And even coming to sit. Another moment with our spine upright, with our heart open. A moment of being. And then let's bring our hands together for your pose in front of our heart. In the Buddhist tradition, they would call it the noble heart, our noble heart. And we complete our practice with our three shantis. Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, thank you very much.